Even I myself never thought about it. But what gives me more pride is like when other immigrants see how I have been changing my life, they decided to choose the path and follow me as well. And I was able to help out so many immigrants to switch over from 9 to 5 to a door-to-door industry. And
all right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Door-to-Door podcast. Today's going to be a good one. We got a really special guest hailing all the way from Canada, Minhaj. Welcome to the podcast, brother. How are you doing today?
Great, Hunter. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really thrilled to add some value to the door-to-door industry over here. And as you mentioned, I take pride on being bringing enough value on the D2D industry in Canada, because as much as we know on the American side, it's very popular. People has been welcoming it for so long, but in Canada, it's pretty fairly still as a new industry in the door-to-door.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty excited that being an immigrant, coming all the way from being a no one to someone who has impacted probably 100 plus people in the industry now.
Yeah, dude. Well, we're happy to have you on, especially because we've got some cool events coming up in Canada. But for our listeners who may not know Minhaj, he's an actual stud in the door-to-door space. Quick little background. Currently serving as the Vice President of Talent Acquisition at NOC and contributing to the growth of North Energy Solar, driven by a mission to empower individuals through opportunity. In 1 year of arriving in Nanaimo, which is a town in Canada, just learned that today, he was able to launch a brand new office in Victoria. Both offices are now ranked among the top performing teams in their respective T-list markets, which is a testament to his power, the power of his vision, leadership, and grit. Currently along the journey, he's earned recognition in the realms of having the top RGU office, top recruiter award, perseverance award, top leadership award, and many other. So we're happy to have you on, Minhaj. But give us a background. Give us a little Reader's Digest version, where you're from, kind of what brought you into the door-to-door space, and then a little bit of your career so far in door-to-door. Be curious to hear.
So I came to Canada in 2018 as a student, as an international student, and I was back in those days. I was working like pretty much 2 to 3 different jobs. As usual, probably any immigrants can relate my stories with them. Then throughout a friend, I heard about this industry, that there is something that you could do like door to door, and obviously it's commission based. So a lot of people probably get scared on that side. But for me, I was looking for an opportunity to grow, to do better, to be more valuable than where I was. And as we all pretty much can agree to this, 9 to 5 is never the way of the life probably an individual or someone with an entrepreneur mindset wanted, right? Now, when I heard about this industry, and I did a little bit of research, and I found out that, and that's pretty much when I first heard about Sam Tagger, D2D experts as well, because you guys post a lot of motivational things, right? And that's where I got a little bit of educated on, okay, this industry is real. The money that I was told or offered was real. It's not like a scam. Obviously, someone who's working his probably 15, 16 hours straight 4 days, and you're coming and offering him like, hey, you come, you work with us, you sell, and this is the money you're gonna make, right? It's pretty much, to anybody, it's gonna sound too good to be true at some point, because as we all know, that door-to-door has a lot to offer, not only on the financial aspect of it, obviously, personal growth, networking, and it kind of transforms you to a completely different beast than where you are. So when I had that faith, I started jumping onto this job around 2021 summer. And that's when I first did door-to-door as a rookie. End of 2021, I ended up being an assistant manager, recruited my first 10 guys, and started my journey as a leader. Definitely it was not easy being a student and trying your level best to be on the leadership, managing other people.
Totally.
Because when you're bringing in people into the industry, you have to make sure you're giving them the right nourishment, they have to get the right trainings and the leadership too, right? Ended up being a senior manager on 2020, end of 2022 or beginning of 2023, you could say. I was able to go and branch off an office in Nanaimo in Vancouver. And this is with
Hmm.
alarms, or you could say telecom industry with TELUS. And that's where like my journey with Now started. And I definitely was blessed to get some great leadership within our industries, some of the Golden Door winners who kind of gave us like a lot of mental preparations on how to succeed in this industry. Probably you might have heard about Brent Stevens, who is our CEO at NOC, right? Great leadership,
Hmm.
amazing mentor. Throughout their leadership and mentorship, I was able to branch off my team in Nanaimo, and within the same year, end of the year, I was able to branch off a second office in Victoria. So not only I was being able to grow for myself all the way to a rookie to a sub-regional manager within like almost 2 years, which was like a phenomenal
Wow.
journey for me. Even I myself never thought about it. But what gives me more pride is like when other immigrants see how I have been changing my life, they decided to choose the path and follow me as well. And I was able to help out so many immigrants to switch over from 9 to 5 to a door-to-door industry. And everybody's been doing really amazing, crushing it. Not only they're being able to now afford or live a good life, they're being able to add value to so many people that's around them too. So that's kind
That's
of like a
amazing.
background of my journey with Knock. Apart from Knock, obviously, as I mentioned, we're working with North Energy. It's one of our
Hmm.
sister company, and probably you might have heard about Brendan Holmes. He's our CEO,
Yeah.
and working with North Energy also gives me the privilege to work closely with Arjun and Rohan. Arjun is a two-time Golden Door winners. Rohan is a one-time Golden Door winner,
Wow.
right? So it's kind of like we could say like we're working on something amazing over here. Hopefully, within the next couple
Hmm.
of years, we'll be able to present to the North America, probably one of the best platforms that are available in the market.
That's amazing, dude. I love it. So it sounds like very quickly into door to door, you got promoted into leadership. And then from there, you've kind of been able to just help a lot of people get into the space and be successful. Was that always the plan or the goal for you? Jump into leadership, build teams, recruit? Or when you got in, were you just kind of thinking to yourself, man, I just want to sell? How did that journey kind of transpire to get you to where you're at now? Because I mean, you joined in 2021. We're talking 3.5, 4 years. That's a pretty quick, that's a short career so far. And to be where you're at is pretty rare, I'd say, to jump so fast.
I appreciate you saying it. Definitely, this is not the first time I was told this. Throughout my different mentors and a lot of great people in the industry has said that what I've been doing is pretty unique. And I feel like one of the reasons behind it was not something that I was aiming. I was never aiming to be a leader or where I was today. Even I did not know
Mhm.
that I'd ever be, become someone so much valuable to the industry. What changed within me is basically once I did my first summer, it changed my life completely. I was like a completely different person. That scared little immigrant guy became someone who's able to speak in front of hundreds of people, and he's not being
So
scared,
cool.
right? He's being able to pay his own international tuition fees, which is those of you guys are watching this podcast, and if you're an international student, you probably know we paid tons of money to universities. So even after all these things, when I saw my life transformed into like so easy and so better into, and it has elevated in such a level, I was like, there might be thousands of people over here in Canada right now struggling. They're probably looking for a work. They're probably working two, three different jobs trying to get a better life. And I feel like I could be someone who could go and help them out. And how I started this journey is basically being an immigrant. One of the privilege I had was living with a bunch of other students that became my friends. What I did when I
Mm.
saw my life got elevated, and those are the people that has been living with me are the best example to know and witness the changes within me too, right? They saw me, they was impressed seeing the person I have became, and I ended up recruiting some of my friends and some of the other people that I know that was struggling to earn a better life, to get into a comfortable life where they'd be able to learn and also explore. And that's how this journey started. And when I realized that okay, I was being able to help these guys, and in order for me to help these guys, I have to keep improving every day. And I
Hmm.
realized, I didn't even realize when I ended up choosing a path of leadership without even realizing it, The main goal was to grow myself to a certain level where I could guide others to walk through the same path that I've been through.
Yeah. Couple of things I want to mention. It's very, I feel like it's not super difficult to bring bodies into a room and recruit. It is difficult to retain those bodies and have those bodies go on to be successful. And it sounds like you've done that very well. And even though we're on a Zoom right now and I've never met you in person, you have this level of genuineness and authenticity about you to where I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that could be a huge element of your success in the realm of recruiting. But also, and you can speak to that here in a second. The second thing I want to say that you've mentioned a couple times now that I think is super important that a lot of people don't do, speaking of recruiting, is you've mentioned that you continually improve every day. You try to be the best version of yourself. You don't lose sight of that. And again, you can speak to this as well. Do you find that that's been an element of your success in building people and building offices? Because I feel like people can get lost. And I speak to a lot of people on these podcasts and a lot of people in the industry in general that have aspirations to recruit. But there's this element of, you can kind of sense that they're recruiting simply for the recognition element and the monetary element as far as like overrides. And I don't get that vibe from you. I feel like you generally have this sense of just, this has been good for me and I want to portray this message and help other people as well. But can you speak to that a little bit? Do you feel like those two things I mentioned
100%.
are cost to your success?
I feel like one of the biggest mistake that most of the people in the industry does was just to recruit to get overrides. Now, what happens is instead of you trying to be a leader, you became someone like a merchandise, right? Now, a lot of people probably might take it on the wrong way, but again, this is the harsh truth about this industry. Obviously, there is a lot of ways in door-to-door industry to make money, as much as recruiting is one of those ways. But if you're recruiting to make money, you're never going to be a good recruiter, because people will see through your intentions, and you don't have that intention to make someone else successful. But if you now do the same thing by delivering your mindset from just recruiting to get paid, just recruiting to get the recognition, to where you want to bring in someone to make him successful. His success is also pride, and that's where you see your reflection of growth as well. You have to understand it from the very deep meaning of level where someone is leaving his work or whatever he's doing for his living right now and coming to the industry where you invited him and you recruited him, thinking that you offered him something good, something best, right? So if you're just recruiting just to get paid or just a recognition, you're never going to be able to retain people. People will see through it, and they will always seek the right leadership. They will always want to be working somewhere where they feel welcomed, and they will be able to have a room to speak, grow, and learn, right? And in this industry, it's really easy to get lost, even as a recruiter, even as a leader, manager, or as a rep, right? Because this industry is a lot happening. And a lot of the time, the main work as a door-to-door rep we have to go through is through the mental health, right? So a lot of the time you feel like, and this is where if you're not getting the right leadership, right retainer, you ended up quitting anytime, right? So for that, if you could switch that mindset from seeing the reps or bringing someone as a recruiter from a product to someone as a responsibility, that someone that you are bringing, offering him a vision, and not only you're offering him the vision, you're also giving them the right guideline. That's where not only you'll be able to recruit, when you recruit those people and their life gets elevated. And one of the secret behind my success that I have so many people working with me is because I bring in 10 people, 10 of those are living a good life. Other people sees they get the courage to go and leave what they're doing and come into this industry and go and do door to door, right? Those 10 people are doing good, another 20 people is coming up, and you're creating an example of yourself by elevating other people's life, right? So it is beyond making money over people. It is beyond the recognition. It's about helping other people to be in a certain level where other people will be educated on this job. Now, I can take pride on the work I do because a lot of people that did not know about, especially a lot of immigrants in Canada, is not aware of door-to-door industry. But now when you're seeing a friend that's living with you is affording a nice car, his tuition fees, a good life, right? He's not working as hard as you are doing. He's not going and working on a night shift, right? You would want to probably go and do what he's doing, right? This is where it's
Mm-hmm.
all connected. It's not just by bringing up people and just keeping it in the office and letting them do what they want to do. Without guidance, you'll lose out people. And at some point, probably you would not even be able to recruit many people, right? Because your vision is not elevating people. It's about making money. It's about recognition, as you mentioned.
Yeah, those things are great, but they're byproducts if you do it right. So Minhaj, what, if you have one, what is your process for, let's say you meet with someone, you have that interview, you seem like they'd be a good fit for your organization. You feel like they'd add value to your teams because that's important. You don't want to bring on people that tear down. From someone that you hire, right? Brand new person's never sold before, let alone go door to door. What is your process to get that person from a new hire to a self-sufficient seller?
So you mean like what is the process to a rep, bringing a new rep who never did a door-to-door to make him as a successful door-to-door sales rep, right?
Yeah, like what do you do to ensure that they, can push through their learning curve, learn the skills, and become a self-sufficient door knocking, closing individual? Because everyone's journey is different. So, but like, what do you do to get someone from A to Z, if that makes sense?
100%. So few things that matters a lot for me is you as a beginner or you are someone who I'm recruiting in my industry, are you coachable, right? You might not have the knowledge, which you don't need, because that's why we have industry leaders to teach you the knowledge. What you need is, are you coachable or not? If you're not coachable, probably we would not have you with us, right? But now let's say if we bring it in, now that we know you're coachable, the first thing starts with adopting the team culture. So one of the secret behind bringing in reps, I let them 1 to 2 days go ahead and hang out with the teammates, get that vibe of the salesmen and see other people, how it feels when someone's coming with the victory, with the sell in home, and how other people in the office is kind of probably a little bit frustrated of not selling, right? Set the right expectations. You see the both side of the coins now, good side and the bad side. Now what it starts is basically at the beginning, obviously, you need to tell them or you need to give them the basic knowledge on how to sell, what to sell, the product knowledge. We definitely have a lot of skeletons and boot camps that we do to train our reps. And one of the biggest thing that worked over here is sending them to shadowing, right? Sometimes what happens, a lot of companies wait for like a week to train the reps and then send them. I do it a little bit different. I know not too many people might not do about it, but again, as you said, everybody has their individual ways to make people successful. For me, what works best is sending those reps on shadowing with the best reps that I know that they're gonna go and perform, work hard. Now they're going and seeing someone doing it. Next day they come back, we're getting some real feedback from them. What did you learn? In between, we're obviously giving them the right trainings too. Within 1 to 2 days of shadowing, we always go and send them to experience this real head, right? On your third day of knocking, you're going by yourself and knocking. It doesn't matter how bad of a day you have, only we want you to go and experience the hardship in real world. Now, amazing thing on the background, what happens is we have an amazing culture in any one of the teams that we're building, all of the teams.
So important.
So important. So it doesn't matter how much demotivated or hardship you're coming through. Before you even meet the meeting starting, you're seeing your people over there, your reps, other reps that's working. And because of the culture, it's so great over here. Everybody feels very homely and welcoming, right? So there is no way your energy is going to be dropped even after seeing a bad day. And having that good energy within the office, knowing that, setting that right expectation that every is not going to be a good day, but what you learn from the bad day is going to help you on being better on the good days, right? So one of the biggest thing that helps us to retain and maintain consistency on the rep is weekly or bi-weekly one-on-one sessions with the rep. So as managers or leaders, we spend a lot of time. We do like a weekly team dinners or hangout as well, each Sundays or right, depending on what day we decide to go. So those are the times where we're like me and let's say some of my other leaders or future leaders, we're going and trying to give mentorship to the reps, try to read what's working in their mindset, what motivates them, right? And another thing that we do is like customized incentives, because sometimes we might put in like, let's say, cell phone or like a laptop on an incentive, or maybe a trip to Mexico, right? We don't even know there's everyone probably who's not going to be driven by that. So we do a lot of
Yeah.
customized incentive for reps. Now, what happens is when you
Smart.
have something on the line that you want to get and you don't want to buy it, right? Now this is where you're gonna see the reps running through it, right? Not everyone's gonna be driven
Hmm.
by everything, and this is where like industry levels or big companies kind of probably slip it out because they're like, okay, let's do a trip to Mexico. Okay, let's do a trip to probably Hawaii or cruise. Now, a lot of people probably don't even have visas to go there, right? So now for him, he does well till midpoint, then he quits. As a team, you're losing out numbers, production. As a manager, you're kind of like not being able to motivate your people in the right way, right? So one of the things that helped
Hmm.
out is like alongside the culture and this every weekly or bi-weekly having one-on-one conversation, also this customized incentive, figuring out what they like and making them run for it. And now they don't even realize when they become to they're leveling up their certain levels, because at some point, let's say you're doing 10 accounts a week, you don't want to do 5 anymore, you want to be settling down at 10. It's not about that incentive
Hmm.
anymore, it's about you saw your potential, right?
Yeah. I love that. Is there ever, do you fire reps often, Minhaj, or let them go?
uh that's one of the weakness that I have, because I'm very much attached to my people, even though I was able to successfully bring in probably more than 100 plus people easy within this industry. um
Hmm.
it's really hard for me when I allow someone to let go, because I feel like it's my failure as much as it might be a bad apple. Obviously, if you're running an organization, you have to cut
Sure.
off the bad apples, right? But if you're bringing in
Yeah.
someone into the industry and you're kind of firing them, which you have to, and we all have to at some point, it makes me feel bad
Hmm.
about. I feel like I could have done something right, probably, that I was not being able to do it for him. And that's why, as much as he did wrong, I did something wrong as a leader as well for him, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to cut off bad apples, because at the end of the day, sometimes there will be people that will not understand the purpose of going and hanging out with the team on the days off. There'll be people that will probably say, let's not wake up early in the morning, right? Before you head out to the area, they'll be like, hey guys, let's go and check out this viewpoint before you go, right? Something like that. Those
Hmm.
people are kind of like, not only they're putting themselves down, they're taking 4 other people on the bucket. So you rather cut off that
Yeah.
one guy to save other 4 people's future.
Hmm. At what point do you feel it's necessary? Speaking of like production, because there's other elements that could cause someone to be let go. They're just negative, there's many other things, but production wise, what's your process? If someone's underperforming consistently, um, what's your process to either get them performing again or selling or leveling up? Or if not, letting them go? Like what's like the metrics that you kind of live by if you have them, to where it's like, hey, we put you on this pit plan, you didn't perform, we're letting you go, or just kind of talk me through that, because a lot of people struggle with that. They like you said, they get attached to the people, they feel like it's their responsibility, which it is as their leader for them, to perform. And then some people are just like, well, they're my friend, you know what I mean? And I can't fire them. But speak to me about how you handle situations like that.
We have a saying that we say, like a 3-day bagel policy. Basically, you're bageling first day, you're not being able to do any production on the working days, right? Let's say you're trained, you have been already selling, now you're going to your downfall. Now you went to second day, you could not sell again, right? You went to third day and you could not sell. Fourth day, you're going and shadowing someone. Now we do shadowing and reverse shadowing on the same day, means you go and shadow someone for 3 hours, and obviously it has to be one of the top performers, or sometimes even the leaders or the managers themselves. Now what happens? You shadow them, so they shadow you for a while. They see you succeeding on the doors. Now you're reverse shadowing them for 1 to 2 hours. Let's say you're shadowing them for like 10 conversations, 20 conversations, right? Now you have some real feedback, because sometimes, as much as we want to go and check out what they did wrong, sometimes they themselves get lost in the track, and it's really hard for them to understand, because they will be probably sad.
Yeah.
So we go and check those out and see what are the things that's wrong. We write it down and give it to them, and we work on those. And what happens at
Hmm.
some point, even though you do it, a lot of people find success through this journey, and a lot of people still, they keep going on to the downfall, right? Now, if you're seeing a
Hmm.
And usually the people that get fired because of your production is gonna be probably the bottom 2 to 3 reps that's consecutively being bottom at the bottom for like maybe 3 months, a quarter, because that's good enough time
Mm-hmm.
for a sales rep, especially a trained sales rep, to see and change his habit and adapt into new skill set and prove himself that he can improve. But within a quarter, he was not being able to perform, and back to back, he's one of those bottom people, bottom producers, right? Even though we're providing them the right culture, right nourishment, right leadership and training, right? That's when you have to go. Now, production wise, the reason I'm not saying about the production, cause like alarms and pest and solar, everything has like different metrics on productions. But the best way to look into
Mm-hmm.
it, if someone is becoming the last guy for like past quarter, or he's been consistently on the downfall for past quarter, even with the right nourishment and training and everything, probably he's not the right fit for the job. And as much as we want to get him off the company or of the team, right? As much as we want to fire him because of less performance, at some point it's also crucial and good for him to go and try out something else. Probably he's not on the right place at that moment, right?
Totally. I've had so many of those reps where they're good people. They're good to have around as far as just like their energy's good. They'll never miss a correlation meeting. They'll never miss a team hangout or culture building event. They work, but they just can't produce. Like it's just, and it's hard because it's like, you want them to succeed. You want them around. You want them to change their life, and they're trying. It's just not for them because this industry is cutthroat and it's just not for everybody. But it's hard because they get to experience. I mean, the income earning potential is amazing, right? But to me, like if you're in the right outfit, the right vehicle with the right culture, that's just one piece of the pie. There's the learning, there's the growth as a human, the mental, physical, emotional. And then there's just there's the events, and then there's the swag and there's so many things that make this job so good. And for those people that love every piece of the pie, but they can't get the production and the actual, like, it is a job and we're here to earn money and we're here to help people, right? They can't get that part down, and you just see them struggling. And, some people even ask for money. It's just like, dude, it's hard to sit those people down and say, hey, like, you should probably find something else. Like, not because we don't want you, it's because you just can't. You can't do it. You know what I mean? And it's never a fun conversation, but
This point, probably this is not the right place for you too. And one of the big
yeah.
things as a leader and as a rep for both, and it works, is like execution. Execution is the key. As much as we want to provide the right trainings, as much as we want to give you the everything that we want to give, doesn't matter if we give you the whole word. If you're not executing, it would not work on your favor, right? So
Totally.
sometimes I feel like a lot of the people with the right nourishment, they lack execution. And that's where like the results never come up. And it's always better for them for the long run to go and try out something else. Definitely, if you ever feel like you're ready for it, come back to us. We'll obviously give you an opportunity depending on obviously various scenarios. But it is always better for us and them to go and let them go and for them to try out something else, right? It's not easy for both ends, right? Sometimes they're going to be probably really sad about it, but as much as you and I can relate, we work really hard on our people. We don't want to lose them. We want them to succeed. But if I cannot help you, I better let you go to somewhere else where you could find your goals and succeed, right?
Totally. Man, this has been great. I mean, if you're listening to this and you're an aspiring leader, or you are a leader and you're struggling to recruit, retain, this has been some great information, and I hope you've been tuning in. Let's shift gears a little bit, Minhaj. Question for you really quick. Are you still on the door selling, or are you busy doing other things?
I was. Now I'm already on the doors for our solar program. Like I mentioned, we're working on something amazing for the Canadian industry over here.
Sweet.
I was able to. It's my first time trying out solar, so I'm kind of excited about it. But my last week has been pretty great. I did my last week was my first week of closing, and I did 6 self-gen. Not sure if you're familiar with solar industries. So I feel like self-gen is something.
That's big.
It's a pretty good start. Yeah, it's a pretty good start.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Good for you. I love that. So, question for you: let's say you just hired me to be on your team. I'm an eager young rookie, and I'm looking at you, someone that's doing it for a while and successful. And I ask you to say, hey, Minhaj, what's your what's 1, 2, or 3 of your biggest sales tips that you can give me, a rookie, to help me go, and if I implement, I can be successful? What would you say to that? How would you answer that question?
The first answer is gonna be is go and get the right knowledge. Means you cannot just be waiting for someone else to come and help you. You have to go and figure it out, and the best way to figure it out is by throwing yourself on the door. The first thing first is the more you go to the doors, the more people you talk to. As much as you don't know what to ask, the clients will teach you what to ask. It's not going to be an easy journey. But again, you have in the industry, you have so many people you could come back and ask the questions and be prepared ahead. Means so you have to be prepared for every day. What I have struggled today, if I'm not solving it today, it's a problem for tomorrow. That's the first lesson on door to door. So you got to fix your daily problem daily. The second thing is, are you learning every day? Coming back from the first one. If you're doing, are you executing it on the right way? As much as you're getting tons of knowledge in your brain, without execution, the result's gonna be zero, right? And we keep saying it in our north over here in our office too. Execution is the key over here. Doesn't matter how much you learn, doesn't matter how hard you work in thinking. If you're not doing the right execution, the result's not gonna be where you want, right? The third thing is gonna be understand the mental pressure of this job. As much as this job shows you a lot of rewards, a lot to achieve, this job also drains a lot of energy from you. Now, how can I go and save that energy, and how can I be prepared for that mental toughness, right? So in this job, one of the most important thing is having that mental toughness, right? Now, how do I do it? By winning your mornings, by preparing, by doing meditations, right? Knowing why you're doing this job, having a bigger why. If your why is not big enough, the job is gonna be so hard for you. Let's be honest, right? But if you have a solid why, if you know why you're doing this job, as much as it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be a lot easier just because you have a reason to succeed, right? So it's gonna be those are the 3 things I will focus mainly. And one of the key things on my team, I'd probably say it's probably like all these 100 plus people that I've been so far like mentoring, is mindset has been a big key. Every time I see my people, I talk to them, anybody comes to me, talk to me, I always prepare them on the mindset, because as much as you're winning right now, but be prepared to be failing, right? And be prepared to accept it, learn from it, and stand up again. This has been a biggest for me, for my retention as well, because my reps, when they're going through a hardship and a downfall, they know that it's a process, and this is where they know that they need to be prepared. They need to do some work on the back end.
Totally. I love it. Let's speak to Canada a little bit. Obviously, you're in Canada. Let's speak to the market a little bit. We're excited here at Door-to-Door Experts. We are taking Door-to-Door Con to Canada this September. Are you going, by the way? Do you have tickets yet?
Not yet, but definitely we're going to get some tickets from our companies, because we're going to get all the leaders over there. And I'm excited because I personally, being an immigrant in Canada, I do not have my US visa, and I lost out so many opportunities to come and work with you guys.
Oh, really?
As well. So I'm really excited that finally D2D Expert decided to come to Canada. And a lot of the guest speakers over there are my close friends as well. So I'd love to come and
really
nice too, right? It's going to be amazing. 100%.
Yeah. Okay. I just had an idea. After this podcast, I'll chat with you about an affiliate code you can use to spread the word. We want to fill that venue up. It's going to be really good. I know Sam is securing some cool speakers, but how is the Canada market? Like for myself, I've been in door to door for 10 years now. Like Canada never really crossed my mind, to be honest. You know, people travel all over the US and they sell, but it wasn't until like the last 12 months, I'm like, Canada. So how's the market up there, dude?
I'll tell you why. The first reason is probably is gonna be the weather in Canada is not as suitable for door-to-door year-round.
Sure.
Or how it's in USA. Now, what happened in Canada, door-to-door used to be pretty much a seasonal job. You come, you work for 4 months, you go, you do your daily life, you come back next year, again work for 6 months or 4 months in the summer, you make some good money and you leave. And this is the reason door-to-door in Canada, it has been for so many years in Canada, but it never got highlighted because nobody thought this could be a way of life. This could be a full-time job. This could be a full-time earning uh, platform for anyone. Everybody was thinking like, okay, it's a 4-month thing. We have money now. We have to go and do a side business or another job. Go back to regular 9 to 5. What changed within last 12 months, as you said, is probably not 12 months, probably like almost like 2 years now, is this industry becoming a year-round production. What we did basically, a lot of us, even in our organization, the industry leaders, we had a decision of like, we cannot just bring all these people, show them all these successful stories, show them all these successful achievements, and let them go in like 6 months and expect them to come back again. And even for them, it's not, it's not like the right habit in door to door. Probably you'd be able to relate because you've been in the industry for so long, right? What we started doing is like, we have to overcome the weather. Even though it's cold, we have to try it out. We never tried hard enough to know that if it's a good market for door to door or not. But throughout this journey for past 2 years, we're able to build multiple teams with hundreds of people or maybe more with a year-round team. Now, what happened now, people started to seeing this is as a full-time job. This is like a long-term vision game. It's not like how it used to be in the past. I would still say it's fairly new. I met a lot of newcomers in Canada that's not aware of these kinds of job. They rather go and work in a nightly shift job than coming into door to door because there is no one to educate them. So I feel like doing programs like D2D cons or all the podcasts or other things that we're doing, I hope at some point it's going to start adding more value in people's life where they'll be able to know that you could do 9 to 5 jobs, but as much as you want to do it or as much as you're looking for it, you got other better options and a better way of life as well, right? Both of has its pros and cons, obviously, but now determine like, or possibly you could choose what you want to do if you know the options, right? Still, it's a fair market, but a lot of us are working hard, educating people on this. Not because we want to recruit people, it's just because we feel like it's a fantastic way of leading your life, right? I could be in a 9 to 5 job, right? Probably right now scanning through your products and taking payments from you as a cashier, but I want to be here doing this, what I'm doing with you, right?
Totally, dude. Well, hey, we're going to wrap up soon. We appreciate you I appreciate you coming on and just dropping some bars. I learned a lot about recruiting and retention from you. And again, you seem like just an authentic, genuine guy. I'm like 98% sure I'll be there at Door to Door Con Canada, so I'm looking forward to meeting you. But why don't we just wrap up with this? What, if you have one, is the funniest thing that has happened to you while knocking doors?
The funniest thing is going to be probably a lot of the time when you build enough value on products. I know this might be a very unique, funny story. It's just going to be like a lot of the times we ended up offering people such good offers, they think it's too good to be true because they never think
all the time. Yeah.
Someone's going to come knock on their door and give them a deal that looks too good to be true, or they could have gone to a store and they had to pay a lot more price, right? So I'll encourage like anybody that sees this, right? Definitely do trust the people. They have the best deals in the market. Hands off.
Absolutely, man. When I was selling solar consistently, that's literally was my close. I was like, no, you're probably thinking to yourself, because I mean, I was selling in California. I don't know what the rates are in Canada, but in California, the utility rates are here and solar rates are here, right? I mean, before they switched to net metering 3.0. And I was like, you're probably thinking this is too good to be true, right? And they were like, yeah, like, what's the catch? Like every time. And I was like, my job, this is what I'd say. I was like, my job is helping homeowners like you see that this is not too good to be true because it seems that X, Y, Z. And it was, I mean, every single time I'm in a close and we got to that point, like, I'm like, this seems too good to be true, huh? And they're like, yeah, it's crazy. I love solar. It's a great product. Well, Minhaj, thanks for coming on. If people listen to this and they want to follow along on your journey, are you active on social media? Do you post much?
Yeah, I do. And even
where can they find you?
Just search me up on MD Minhajul Islam. That's my social media handle, and I'll possibly share it with the D2D expert team as well. And I'd appreciate if you guys can put it up in the air as well for the people. And I do post a lot of daily things where you'd be able to see our daily lifestyles, trainings, scheduling, new people coming up, and their success stories too. So it's kind of one of the biggest thing that also kind of helps as a recruiter. If you're a recruiter and an industry leader, guys, start posting your success, start posting the hardship too. Let people see it, and it inspires a lot of people. Not everyone's gonna come and work with you, but now what happens is you're creating a way of life where people appreciating the motivation you're providing them, right? They know that there are like so many other options that you could choose in life, and that can elevate you so much. So I do a lot of social media posting and keep my audience entertained.
Love it, dude. We'll follow along with Minhaj. Good guy, good recruiter, good asset to the space, and catch him in Door to Door Canada this year. All right, Minhaj, thanks so much for coming on.